Hello, this is Tom Brevoort. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Hello, Looney listeners. This is Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is a very cheeky episode. Welcome. I had recently added on our community social platforms that there'd be no episode this week, but I just can't stay away from the microphone, and I wanted to actually slip this one in. I'll let you know why. Rather than wait another week or so. But welcome back, Loonies. This is going to be a very short episode, and by short I mean really short, but it will be dedicated to our latest episode of our serial adventure, The Hunt for Khonshu's Golden Sceptre. Now, the reason why I thought I would drop this separately rather than I usually integrate this into a larger part, I usually integrate this into a larger show, is because this one runs for the longest yet. It's about 11 minutes 45, and it's part 12. It's been a while since I've dropped a serial adventure, so I didn't want to wait another couple of weeks because next phase we'll have an Isla Ra session, so there's no room in that show to actually drop the serial, and as I said, I didn't want to wait a couple of weeks, so I'm dropping it now. I've been working at it feverishly, and I've been enjoying how it's been turning out, so I'm going to drop it here for you. Now, if you are unaware of the serial adventures that we do, this is that's pretty funny. This is an audio drama that we set up on a monthly basis, so it's gone for about a year now, because this will be part 12, which has been great. It's for the Loonies, by the Loonies. It involves Loonies who've just put their hands up, and it's basically a universe that we've created in the Into the Night community on the fringe of Moon Knight. So Moon Knight, although he doesn't appear in this serial because of licensing infringements and stuff like that, we are based in and around his corner of the universe. It's all around the Egyptian god Set, and Set from entering the world. If you are interested at all, please check out the back catalogue of all the other episodes, the previous 11. They're all there. I think for the first 7 or so, I actually released them as separate files, so you can find them easily enough. But then I think from episodes 8 till 11, they are integrated into the episodes. So, I'm hoping you enjoy this. I'm hoping this is a little extra promo for the serial. Let us know what you think. It's all going well. Now, the intent with this is episode, or part 12, sorry, again. Now, the intent for this is to, I think I've got maybe another 5 or 6 parts to go. I've actually written part 13. I don't have anything beyond that, but I'm hoping to round it up to maybe part 16, and that will see the end of the first season for this serial adventure. So a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do. It just takes a little time, and a huge thank you to everyone involved, everyone that takes their time to contribute to it. It's all done for free and for the love of, I don't know, podcasting and Moon Knight and all that. So a huge thank you to everyone. Anyway, I will drop it now. This is part 12 of The Hunt for Khonshu's Golden... So, hang on. I always do this. Before we go into that, I just want to give another little plug. Again, the reason why that this episode wasn't going to happen this week was because I've been super busy, and that's because thank you to the huge Patreon members. A big thank you to Justin again for bumping up his tier. We actually achieved our second goal, and with that second goal being me being able to produce a second show, a monthly show. And again, it was put to the Patronies, and and out of I think 7 or 8 options, the winner was for a podcast on Spider-Woman. So I've been working on that. That's fun. That dropped this week as well. A massive 2.5 hour show, just under 3 hours, and with my co-host Saren. So getting that up and running just took a bit of work. That's all, a bit longer than I thought. So unfortunately, I had to relinquish an episode. But having said that, I haven't, because here I am, and also concurrently working on the serial, and it being about 12 minutes. I thought, hey, let me just release a very small episode based purely on this serial. Hopefully, it will get those that haven't really paid any attention to the serial to take notice. And if you're keen or want to be involved somehow, please let me know. It's all for a bit of fun. We're looking for Khonshu's Golden Sceptre. It's a hoot. Anyway, okay, I'll leave it at that. Check out the new podcast as well. To Know Her is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast, the Spider-Woman podcast. And enjoy this little snippet of audio drama. Catch you later.
Right. So what are we doing here again? I know we're meant to be recruiting, but at a graveyard? Who are we hoping to see? Elvis?
This is the only place where she said you'd be comfortable meeting us. You have to remember, Connorshu, Lilith is from a different side of our world.
Do you mean Florida? They're not that different over there, I think.
I mean the dark side. Not Star Wars dark side, but supernatural dark side.
The light! It's blinding.
Who dares disturb Lilith Hellfire, spawn of the underworld, slayer of sinners, and fan of the white throne?
Lilith. Hi, it's Ray, one of the High Priests of Khonshu. I'm here with Connor, another one of the High Priests, and we kinda need your help. I'm sure you've heard of the relics, how some agents are trying to resurrect Set and all the craziness in the city at the moment. Connor and I are trying to recruit everyone and anyone we can to help stop Set from entering our world.
Right. Look at her. She's covered in flames, all demon-like, and just that slight bit intimidating. You sure we want her on our side? What if she turns out to be just as bad as Set?
Fight me, nerd! Like I said, I'm the slayer of sinners and the spirit of getting back at bad people. I've seen the insanity going on in the city, and I've been vetting out my own brand of justice every night for months now. A girl needs a break, is what I'm saying. Look, I'll be happy to help where I can if it means it'll put an end to this shitstorm, but I'm here for
defending the innocent. Defending the innocent. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Hellfire and Queen of the Armadillos.
Queen of what now?
Long story. We'll be reconvening with the other Loonies soon. We just need to re-establish contact with Geronimo and Coldcase in Bosco Verde. Can't seem to reach their safe house at the moment. Rebecca will be back soon from the UK, and with any luck, she'll have Dr. Hex, maestro of the magical arts, with her, and Noel and Chad are grabbing supplies.
Weapons for the coming war?
Nah, just pizza pockets.
Not a fan. They're deceptively hard.
Anyway, despite the pizza pockets, if you're still keen to join Lilith, we'll be glad to have you. We've just a couple more stops to make and our Lunar Cabal will be complete.
Sounds like a plan, Jan. There's still, Safari, right? The Great Hunter? And how about Kona?
Yep, Safari will be hard to get, but I'm hoping we can convince him. Kona is just as elusive with his golden sword.
What about Tommy, though? The man on the streets? Any word from him?
As the moon began its climb into the aubergine night, I started to feel Bernie's apartment all that more claustrophobic. Thothsong was staring me right in the face. It was right there, in the photo with Joyce in my hands. In one fell swoop, I cleared many suspicions left lingering after meeting Gabe at the Moon and Sickle. I was now at least one step closer toward obtaining one of the relics. It wasn't the Golden Scepter, but it was a start. My suspicions for the cool nun, too, were all but affirmed. It only made sense that they were also after the ankh around Joyce's neck. These thoughts swam around my head, broken ships in the storm. But things would only get weirder from here.
Lovely girl, isn't she? I do hope you're able to find her. No one else seems to want to help. Why don't you make yourself home with another drink? And I'll see if I can rustle up some nibbles.
That's all well and good, Mr. Colworth. But I'm afraid I need to go. What you've already given me is great, and it will allow me to find Joyce before too long. I thank you once again.
Oh, no. I insist. I insist you stay. We've only just begun.
Barney?
In fact, I'm not all too fussed now with Joyce's whereabouts. She's in good hands at the Cool Nun. They told me about you.
Bernie, listen to me. You're a good man and a devoted father. Think about what you were saying to me.
They've been telling me ever since you arrived.
Since I arrived?
Yes. Since you arrived, they told me that you were to join us. That I was to keep you here until they arrive, or you were to suffer the consequences. So you can either sit down with me here and allow me to explain why we all should be welcoming Set and honoring his name, or I'm going to have to make sure you never leave here at all.
There's a glaze, a certain sheen that covers a person's face when they no longer seem to recognize order or control their behavior. It's a scary thing to witness. It's at that moment you lose any human connection with that person. Any reasoning or words are no use. And there's nothing you can do to sway them. You're left with a person who becomes as unpredictable as an animal attack, or a force of nature. I stared into those bulbous, bloodshot eyes of Bernie Colworth, and I had that feeling run up and down my spine with chilling ferocity. My head, too, had begun to cloud, and I thought I had imagined it. It flashed by in only a split second, but there was a voice calling. A voice which horrified me.
Set be praised.
Paranoia set in, if briefly, and it occurred to me that the water indeed was tainted. Old Gabe was right, the mad bastard. The water had gradually been drugging our brains. Bernie having surrendered to its embrace, he couldn't help but drink more and more of the dirty tap. My few sips offered some semblance of clarity, but not much. One more sip and I'd have turned out as mindless and crazed as the poor figure standing before me. Bernie, please listen. You must fight this. Your thoughts, they aren't your own.
Set be praised.
Bernie. Your daughter.
Ah, they're here. They'll be able to show you the way to Set.
You don't have to point that knife at me, Bernie.
You'll see soon enough. You'll all see.
Bernie Culworth.
All hail, great leader! I welcome the cool nun into my home.
Father.
Joyce! Set be praised. I have him for you. The interloper, the man on the street. He's been snooping around here, but I did what you asked, exactly as you asked. Now he can be assimilated into the cool nun, too. Just as it should be!
Forgive me, Father.
Tommy, man on the street, correct?
Yeah. And I assume you're of the cool nun. I know all about your plans and what you intend to do with Joyce. For what it's worth, I'll never join you. I'd rather die first.
There's no need for you to join us, and I'm not sure you know everything. Joyce, why don't you show Tommy?
My pulse quickened as I prepared to meet my end in this dump. A ruined father lying unconscious on the floor, and Set's thrall standing between me and freedom. I knew they were after Thothsog. Joyce must have had it. They were going to use it to summon Anat, the goddess of war and one of Set's agents of chaos. After that, they'd destroy it, as they had some of the others, thereby releasing the defenses of our poor planet, only to gird Set. This was it. I was done. But as I watched the relic shimmer around Joyce's neck, and I saw Joyce slowly glow and transform into a knot, I was fooled. Again. And for the first time, I saw a small glimmer of hope for us all.
Hey there! Do you like comic books? Do you like superhero TV and movies? Well, come on over and check out the Capes and Lunatics podcast. We have such shows as Capes and Lunatics and Super Connectivity, where we cover everything new and current and popular in the world of superheroes. And we also have episode-by-episode reviews of the Marvel Netflix shows and a monthly discussion of everything current on the DC Comics character Nightwing, and a few other surprises all the time. So come join us for the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. This is Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast, episode 158, a truncated one, solely spotlighting our serial adventure. So I hope you enjoyed that over there. A couple of new characters, from a big thanks to Lilith Hellfire there for her character Hellfire, very demonic, and also the continuing saga and the confrontation there between Bernie Culworth and Tommy the Man on the Streets. A big thanks to Bernie, aka Rob Southgate, for his velvety tones there, and Molly Southgate as well, and also Conor and everyone else. Actually, I just wanted to say it was a lot of fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, you can catch all the previous parts integrated into the previous episodes, or you could start from the very beginning. It starts off, I think the first 3 parts are integrated in our bumper episode 100, which was over 50 episodes ago, so go check that out if you want. and have a listen to all the subsequent episodes there. Anyway, thank you, Loonies, for joining me on this little episode. A big shout out again to actually the Southgate Media Group who contributed to the serial adventure there, and also a little shout out to our new podcast, as I mentioned, To Know Her Is to Fear Her, co-hosted by myself and Saren, a monthly podcast on Jessica Drew, the OG Spider-Woman. Now, next phase will be our Isla Ra sessions. So this will be pretty cool. I believe it's a new moon. I think the new phase of the moon allocated to Isla Ra's is a new moon. That is our Desert Island comics interview / chat with very interesting people. And next week I will have with me Will Allred. He's one of the co-hosts from the Quantum Zone, a Quasar podcast, but he's also a very talented writer and a massive comic book fan as well. So it'd be really cool to have Will over. I had the other two co-hosts there as well, Phil and Matt. So this completes my Quasar set. I feel like I'm collecting cards here, but no. It's fantastic. It was a really good chat to have with Will. It was a really involved chat because we actually went through not only his top 4 Desert Island books, so Isla Ra books, but we went through his runner-ups. That were another 16 of them, but we kind of go through them. Very interesting issues, as well as finding a bit more about Will as well. A very cool cat. A very smart fella and a very creative writer. So all the details for what Will is involved in, check out next week's episode. Well then, Loonies, I think that's it for me. I'm going to cut this short as usual. I will post up as well, just finally, a spoiler thread for Avengers, issue 35, which won't hit next week, but it will hit in a fortnight's time. Please be sure to drop in your comments and stuff. It's great to hear from you guys, everyone, and we'll discuss it on the show as we do our usual review of the Age of Khonshu, so that should be very fun indeed. Anyway, I am out of here. Hope you enjoyed the serial, and as always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch ya. Loonies, you can contact us through various social platforms. You can drop us a line on email at itkmoonnight@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/itkmoonnight, and a Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/itkmoonnight. We are on Twitter. Our handle is @itkmoonnight, and we're on Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube. Just search for Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. We're also on Discord. Just search for the server Into the Night with a K. Please leave an iTunes rating or review if you can. It helps us reach other Loonies out there too. Also, if you have any feedback, we also look to improve ourselves and the show. Finally, we're on all good podcast catchers: Apple Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also on Podcoin. Please check us out and share episodes with your friends.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.